Hi, welcome to today's Voice of Greatness broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant and I'm your host. And on today's broadcast, I want to speak about something that I consider the most important principle or perspective that you can have and hold in your pursuit and in your passion to achieve greatness. And I believe this so strongly that without this principle, without this perspective, you will be defeated and defrauded out of your greatness. If you don't understand what I call the prerequisite of greatness. A prerequisite is a requirement that must be met beforehand before you begin and embark to validate and certify and to actually cause your search and your quest to be authentic. And it is so important. And without this principle, I see people all the time give up and go under and never get back up because they lack the fundamental prerequisite of greatness. What is that prerequisite? What is that requirement that must be met before time, ahead of time, beforehand? Or if you don't have it before you begin, you've got to develop this quality, this perspective, this principle somewhere in the process of your dreams and your goals. And I call it this, very simply, you must have a sense of destiny. That's right. You must believe before you begin or en route that you are born, predestined, prepared, sanctioned, and sent to achieve your dream. If not, too many things that you encounter and experience are not going to make sense. They're going to be insane. They're going to be frustrating. They're going to be exhausting. They're going to be depleting. They're going to cause despondency and discouragement. And if you lose your sense of destiny, you have just lost your insurance policy. And that for me is what a sense of destiny is like. It's not just that I have a dream and I have a goal and I have a vision. No, I have a unique contribution to make to the human family. And because of that, I believe that circumstances, conditions, and relationships will be formed based upon my commitment and my understanding and my desire and determination to realize that aspiration. And I see so many people without that sense of destiny that they are prone to despair. They're prone to just whining and feeling like they're overwhelmed because they feel like they're in this thing alone. And there will be times in your path that you're going to feel that way. But when you have a sense of destiny, you understand that you were born to do something special, which means specific, something clear, something that's credible and that's practical, and above all, guess what, y'all? Something that is doable. See, your dream is not impossible. Somebody somewhere is doing on a daily basis what for you today is only a dream, a wish, an aspiration, maybe even what you might call a fantasy. I want to encourage you today. Develop your sense of destiny. You know what a sense of destiny does? It gives you a sense of entitlement. And I don't mean desert apart from work. I mean you recognize, because you have a sense of destiny, that you are covered, that you are supported, and that you are provided for in your pursuit. Goethe, the great German philosopher and writer and thinker, has this thing called on boldness, about commitment. Until one is committed, he says, there is hesitancy, ineffectiveness, always a chance to draw back. But the moment one commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things begin to occur that would have never occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen aid and assistance, which no man would have dreamed would have come his way. So, whatever you can dream, begin it. Because boldness has genius and magic in it. A sense of destiny is like magic. Things just happen at the right time, at the right place. Now, you can't control those things, so let's talk about 3 things to develop a sense of destiny. Number 1, deepen your commitment. You say, but Joel, I'm committed. Yeah, but you're committed, but do you have the insight to understand that where you are is not a prison, but a privilege? Think about it. Your present circumstance, if it's painful and unfavorable, we tend to see that circumstance as constricting and constraining, that's limiting, of our potential. And if we're not careful, we will curse that circumstance. And the thing that you curse, if you had a sense of destiny, you will see it as a catalyst, as something that's designed to inspire and propel you beyond that limitation. Because I'm going to tell you this, without having a sense of destiny, you will be overcome by adversity. You're going to feel like life has lied to you. You're going to have what I call the illusion of greatness, which means you think that greatness is something that happens to other people and for other people and not for you. So I want to encourage you today, the way you develop a sense of destiny, deepen your commitment. See where you are as not a prison, but a privilege. What can you learn in that circumstance? You say, but Joel, I've been in this circumstance for 10 years. That's okay. Everybody prospers at a different season. I know we don't hear that a lot in our culture because this is an age of self-help and you can get a principle, you can buy a book, and I've said this so much, but that stuff ultimately is not true. People who win, people who achieve, have a sense of entitlement because they have a sense of destiny. The second way to develop your sense of destiny is you have to revise your vision. What you dreamed at 30, you may have to change it at 40. You don't change your pursuit of greatness, you change how you're going to actualize that greatness. Maybe you have to change how you're going to manifest that greatness. For example, becoming a coach instead of a player. You know, Phil Jackson, for example, I saw Phil Jackson in his prime when he played for the Knicks. And in my estimation, he was an exceedingly average player. He was a backup player. Played for the Knicks with Willis Reed and Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe, Bill Bradley, Dave DeBusschere. I saw Phil Jackson play. He was an exceedingly average player. But think about this. All the time he was riding the bench with the other players, maybe Phil was thinking about, well, if I was a coach, what play would I call? What circumstance would I say we need to be in to win this game? And as you all know, Phil Jackson has won 10 NBA titles and an Olympic gold medal. He is a much better coach than he was a player. And maybe for you, maybe you need to change your target. Don't change your aim, change your target. Let greatness still be your goal, but you may have to change and modify the thing that you envision achieving, how you envision achieving it. Think about Phil Jackson. Average player, but phenomenal coach. And the final way that you develop your sense of destiny is you begin to ask yourself, what is the pattern in my life? If you look at your life, if you're over 35, you can look at your life and you can see some consistent positive patterns that's been with your life your entire life. And part of your purpose is being able to recognize your pattern. For example, all my life, I've always taught before I ever became a teacher. I've always written before I ever became a writer. But it was only when I got in my 30s that I began to see the pattern of my life. And seeing that pattern began to clarify my purpose. Clarifying purpose begins to accentuate and accelerate and deepen your sense of destiny. And when you are prone to quit, when you want to give in and give up and go under, something inside you says, but I was born for this. And guess what will happen? By you saying that, you will find a reason to hope against hope. You'll find a reason to go on when everybody else has gone under. You'll find a reason to continue when everybody else has quit. I want to encourage you today. Greatness is possible. You may be 40, you may be 50, you may be on the verge of bankruptcy, you may be going through a divorce, you may be going through a painful time in your life. And I want to encourage you today and even challenge you. Develop it if you don't have it. And don't lose it if you do. But do not give up the fundamental prerequisite for greatness, which is having a sense of destiny. And if you do that, if you maintain your insurance policy, if you pay your deductible, if you make sure you make your payments every month by being diligent, consistent, committed, revising how you see your circumstance is not a prison, it's a privilege. If you do that, it's just a matter of time and effort before your circumstance becomes the condition that is conducive and compatible to your constitution. Meaning you will say, man, I did it because I didn't give in. This has been the Voice of Greatness broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant. Until next time, I want you to have a greatness week because you can.